All right, we're going to finish up lesson 1.4, specifically steps 4 and 5. We left it where our vehicle can move left and right based on the input of our keyboard. We also took control of the speed by making it based on our forward and back movement, which is our vertical instead of horizontal, so vertical. And then step 5, we're going to clean our code. So let me show you where our game currently is when I press play. I can move my vehicle forward, backward. I've got my physics working. I can also float left and right. It's not ideal. We're going to fix that right now. So everything currently is controlled by our player controller script. When I open it up, you'll notice the way that it works is there's 3 lines of code that you need. The first one is you need a variable. So let's look at left and right movement. We need a variable for turn speed. That way we can adjust it. We also need a variable for the horizontal input. Then we update our horizontal input based on the input of our horizontal keys. That's left and right arrow keys or the A and D key. Then we have a line right here that moves it, this one right here, transform, translate to the right based on that turn speed and our horizontal input. So these 3 lines of code right here, and technically these 2 variables right here are what allow my car to move left and right. Same thing for the forward, the up and back. So we set up a vertical input. Some of you it says forward, but same idea. Vertical or forward input. We update that variable, and then we update our forward movement based on that variable. So 3 things. We have already done those. Now what we're going to be doing in lesson 4, step 4, is we want to make our movement look more realistic. So there's really a few things. You can read through this. Technically, you can copy and paste this if you want to delete the other one. There's really only 3 things to change. Whenever you see lines of code like this, red means delete. But really, let's just take a look at it. Transform, dot, rotate instead of translate. Right now it says translate, which basically means move left and right. But we're going to actually make it so it says rotate. So this is one change. I'm going to go do that right now. So go to my game, look at my left and right movement. Instead of the word translate, I'm going to make this say rotate. That's the first thing. Instead of deleting the whole thing, I'm just changing it. And then the next thing, we still got a parenthesis, vector 3. This one says right. That's what we currently have. We actually want it rotated up. And that's going to be the difference, is we're not rotating it right, we're rotating it up, which happens to look like it's going left and right. And then what we'll do is, instead of a multiplication symbol, we actually have a comma. Everything else stays the same. You'll notice it's just in a different order. So vector 3, instead of right, we're going to make it say up. Let's go back to my script. Currently says vector 3 right. Let's delete that and put in vector 3 up. And then instead of a multiplication symbol, it's a comma. Now, anything you do, if it's not correct, you can always undo. But remember, we did not touch this at all. The forward movement, still the same. The only one we changed was transform, translate, right. We just made it say rotate, up, and put a comma instead of a multiplication sign. Now when I save it, and I go back to my game, there's going to be a few things we need to change. When I go to my vehicle, down here on this section right here where it says player controller, my speed's currently 25, that's fine. But now that we're rotating, my turn speed actually needs to be a little bit higher to see it. So I'm going to make mine 50, but you might want yours different. Same thing with your speed. So now that we have that, we leave these at 0. When I press play, you'll notice my car will actually look more realistic as it's driving. So now I can rotate. Oop, went a little too fast. But you'll notice as you start driving and you start messing with the numbers, it actually will look a little bit more realistic as you're driving your car. Anyway, so I'll let you play around with those numbers. And then the very last thing you need to do before you're done with your game is on step 5, it says clean up your code and hierarchy. It gives you some options here. So this, you should have all of this typed out already. The yellow is the new stuff. So basically what it's saying is remove all the public access and make it all private, and then make the speed 20 and the turn speed 45. However, these are kind of optional. You don't have to reset them to these numbers. You can set it to whatever you'd like. But once you're done with that, you are ready to turn in lesson 4. All you need to do is go back to modules, And then when you have modules, you'll notice these are the instructions we just followed. And this right here is the place to turn it in. So when you choose lesson 1.4, you'll notice that you need 2 screenshots with writing. So you need to give me one of your player controller script. I want the whole thing. And then 2, a screenshot of your scene showing the car turning left or right. Don't forget the words, submit it, and you're done.